the Prison City Podcast. When the bars go up, you're officially locked in.
Welcome to the Prison City Podcast, folks. I am your unofficial host here, Patrick W. Cutler, and we got a freaking crazy show here tonight. It's open discussion night. We're going to discuss a lot of different things. I'm going to talk about the latest developments with COVID-19 and the Delta variant, and get a little update on Mike Lindell's little thing or whatever. And then after that, we're going to go into like an open discussion about a lot of different topics and things. And I have chosen our panel tonight, or I have instructed them to come prepared with their own topics and things. And we'll just kind of do a discussion around the horn. The main reason we're kind of doing that is because our last podcast episode was about 3 days ago, and we didn't have a special guest picked out or anything. So we're just kind of leaving this as an open forum to discuss everything that's currently going on in this country, in this world, and everything else. Little update here really quick. Matthew Cutler, one of the newcomers to the show, he's been on here for 4 or 5 episodes now. His computer's currently not working, so he'll be joining the show midway through. And then Kelly might disappear for a few minutes here during the show too at the beginning. So anyways, we're going to kick this off here, and I'm going to start this opening segment out. And I just wanted to kind of recap some things from the last episode. So the last episode was our highest rated episode we've ever done. We talked about Delta variant for a little bit. We talked about Mike Lindell's Mr. Pello, My Pello Guys, Trump Cyber Symposium. That was a fun discussion. Talked about a lot of those different things, and we went into some online things about Jace Feldy was a good guest here, talking about his online sex life and things of that nature. Is kind of fucking fun. But I just wanted to recap some of those things. So with the Mike Lindell situation, the Cyber Symposium, I perused some articles today. I couldn't find anything of real value to update anybody on when it comes to that. The only story with that was that his computer or whatever was hacked or something like that the opening night. Then he swore he's going to do 72 straight hours of just streaming, trying to prove the election was hacked and things of that nature. But there's no new update on that. Maybe next week, if there's anything at all to gain from that, we'll talk about it. Right now, I don't see anything to talk about when it comes to his Trump conspiracy here about the voting results. But if there anything pops up, we'll definitely talk about it. I kind of just wanted to give this opening segment here to just briefly talk about COVID-19 right now and the Delta variant. And this is kind of where I'm just going to kind of go on a little bit of a rant here. We were told, by a lot of people out there, and basically we weren't told, we were fucking lied to. We were basically said vaccines were not going to be required. There weren't going to be vaccine passports. That's all a bunch of fucking conspiracy talk. None of this was ever going to happen. No one's ever going to force you to get a vaccine. We're not going to force you to do vaccines here or there. And as this week has unfolded, we have found out that all of that talk of not requiring vaccines is 110% fucking bullshit. I'm just pull up a graphic here, and this just really kind of gets me fucking going here. How fucking ridiculous this bullshit is getting. Take a look at this graphic right here. Let's go to the left here. Okay, for the audio viewers out there, California becomes the first state to require vaccination for all school staff. Oh, wait, I thought we weren't going to require vaccinations. I guess that was a fucking lie. Let's go to the next one. Vaccine passports. Here they are. New York is now requiring vaccine passports to go into fucking restaurants and gyms and a lot of public settings. So you have to have a fucking vaccine passport, either physically or on your phone. It's almost like it's fucking Nazi Germany. This is fucking, these are things they said would never happen. The Pentagon is now requiring all troops to get COVID vaccines by September 15th. What the fuck do you do if you say you don't want to get the vaccine and you're in the military now? Are you going to be just fucking forced to get it? Again, another article here. COVID vaccines be required for military on a new U.S. plan. I mean, this is fucking insanity. Canada's finally opened up the border, which is a great thing. But Canada's coming out now with a travel thing that's going to require international travel to have vaccine passports. So the whole myth that we are not going to require vaccine passports, that nobody was going to be forced to have the vaccine, it's complete and absolute fucking horseshit. And this is just complete and absolute insanity here. And this is fucking insanity. Again, I'll state the stat that Mahomes loves to hear. The population, we didn't lose any extra people this past year during COVID. Nobody extra was lost. Population statistics will show you. You can look this fucking shit up. And the population still increased by almost 2 million people. There is no impact whatsoever on the population. COVID had zero fucking impact on the population. So how many additional lives were lost due to COVID-19? Well, that would be fucking zero, because it's impossible to prove that any additional people died due to COVID-19. That's a fucking fact, a fact that almost nobody wants you to hear. So that's just kind of my rant to open this segment up. Hopefully Matt gets his fucking computer going. But the COVID insanity, like I said, 18 months ago, we're getting into a very bad place, because overreacting to all this bullshit is only going to get more and more insane. And here we are now doing fucking passports. And if you're a fucking teacher in California, you now are going to be required to do a vaccine if you want to work in California as a teacher. Fucking insanity. All right, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first person on the panel here tonight. And Kelly, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hello. Can everyone hear me? I better say before I do my whole opening monologue and no one hears it like last week.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, well, I got a topic I'd like to talk about later on, but just to go off your opening segment there, I wouldn't look too far into it because, one of those articles was CNN, the other one was from Axios, and I don't trust those motherfuckers as far as you can throw them, so who knows? I live one day at a time. I think that's the only way you can live, and until it is in my backyard or until I travel somewhere or something and see it for myself. Mahogany could probably comment a lot more on that because, he lives in a more populated area than either of us about what's going on out there, if it really is serious or whatnot. But we'll see. My stepson just arrived, so I'm going to wrap my opening statement up. But I do have something I'd like to talk about later on. I just wouldn't trust everything the media puts out there either unless you see it with your own eyes.
And I would agree. I would definitely agree with what Kelly said there. We got to see what's happening. In New York is pushing the passports and everything, but who knows? One of the things I was talking about to Mahomes before this show started is a lot of the hype and hysteria about COVID vaccine requirements and masks and everything. I was just stating, like last week, I was watching a bunch of different baseball games. I watched the Steelers play the Hall of Fame game against the Cowboys, and I saw fucking nobody was masked on at any of those games. So yeah, there is a little hype also on the other end of things. So I do agree with that. So Mahomes, introduce yourself, sir.
Excited to be here. Number 22 for us, catch 22. And, the one thing I will say and to comment on Pat's monologue there is, man, I really need to do some research big time because fantasy football season's coming up and I haven't looked into that at all yet. So that's one of those things that, I just try and keep my head focused on my family and work. And I've just been so lost that I haven't had time to really focus on, are they really legit number one running backs this year, or does everyone have a backup? So that's the kind of stuff that's really got me concerned right now.
With that said, I mean, how fucking funny would that be to do an entire podcast just streaming our fantasy draft?
You can watch the people make just this 10 picks later. Yeah, that guy was picked. Yep, 3 rounds ago. Yeah.
I'll have to throw that out.
Hey, Mahoney, how many buttholes would you see on that stream?
Oh, that's too many. Too many to count.
A couple of wieners too.
Hopefully not, but you just never know.
God, I've always wanted to.
Speaking of fantasy football, man. Yeah. Sorry. Speaking of fantasy football, though, last year, gotta give a couple props to myself because I suck at fantasy football. I'll openly say that I suck at fantasy football. But last year, man, I was kicking fucking ass and taking names. I don't know what I did. I remember the draft. I didn't really give a shit. I was just looking things up as we went. And I was in first place until the last 3 weeks. I ended up not even fucking placing. I just collapsed. So what do you think of those beans?
I mean, I've know a thing or two about being a fan of a football team that collapses. So I've been there, seen that. I mean, that wasn't actually the topic I wanted to bring. I just thought it would be funny to completely not address what Matt said.
I'll say
it's interesting though.
We have one of the weirdest fucking leagues, and I'll never forget my collapse 3 weeks ago. So 3 weeks ago, my magic number is 1 against Furman. Either I win or he loses, and I fucking win the league. And I had the worst luck alive. But then it's hard for me to complain because 2 years later I lost my first game to Furman and I won 16 consecutive wins in a row. Do you think that record's going to be broken?
No, I don't think so. I will say the one thing about the league that, like, I had been boycotted in that league longer than anyone's ever boycotted Pat Cutler. Absolutely no one will trade with me in that league. It is ridiculous. Every like everyone thinks I'm trying to get one over on them. I have to basically like, okay, I'll trade you all 3 of my starting wide receivers and a starting quarterback for your kicker. And they're like, I don't know, man. Kicker must be about to go off.
The trades. Yeah.
I think it's because it looks like you know something, because you proposed 2 or 3 trades to me last year. I'm like, there's no fucking way this guy's got to be hurt or something. I'm just like, nah, you can't do it, man. Probably would have sealed the deal for me. But
It's hard to do trades. It's funny, like Mahomes mentioned that, because last year I wasn't even interested in trades, because the year before with me, Mahomes did some trades that are really, really good, but all the guys I got from Mahomes ended up getting hurt, so it didn't work out good for me. But last year where I didn't really do any trades at all, I still did one trade with Mahomes, and it was what I got Casey's running back from you, and you got fucking Le'Veon Bell from me.
Yeah, I took a flyer on Bell, and like a lot of teams out there have since his Steelers days, it just didn't work out.
Yeah. Okay. No, Bell was with Casey. I got someone else from you, but neither player really did shit there at the end.
And I have one of the best fucking teams I've ever had, right, as I stated, and that's with. I also had Christian McCaffrey on my bench the entire fucking season. Hands down, I think I win the league last year if that motherfucker doesn't get hurt, right?
Probably. I mean, if he doesn't get hurt, you're probably walking away with it.
It was a weird fucking year. I don't feel like I won it at all last year. I was like in 5th place with 7 weeks to go, and I just happened to win every single game the rest of the year. It was a weird fucking year.
Did you win it last year, Pat?
Yeah, I got to like week 9, 10, week 10, and I won every single game the rest of the way. 7 in a row to win it. So I kind of came out of nowhere.
I probably didn't know that. Because we don't pay attention to what's going on in the captain's den down in the 8, 9, and 10 spot with Paul and Corey Cutler. We got our own battles down there.
I just think Matt's fist is gonna come flying through the fucking screen at some point. He's so pissed right now.
He said he's coming, didn't he? He said he might be on here soon.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, because he had his phone the last couple of minutes. His phone's about to die, or something like that. All right, he's almost there. That was 7 minutes ago. That was about 7 hours ago. He said he's almost there.
And speaking of sports, not that this is sorry, Mahomes, but not what I wanted to talk about. But your Mariners are at home tonight against the Rangers. They're down by 1. I just took them to win in the 5th inning. Should be doable, shouldn't it?
I don't have a good history of any of the sports teams I follow doing well, so I wouldn't bet on that. But who knows? Baseball's weird, man. You just never know. I mean, you said you've been kind of paying a lot more attention, and I guess if I really started following all the, baseball's full of numbers, and maybe it makes it more predictable. But I think it's kind of just one of those things. Too. Yeah, no, they've played well up until this point. Hopefully, in years to come, we'll actually see the playoffs.
Then again, I've seen the Rangers play in Seattle probably a fucking 100 times, and it seems like no matter how bad or good they are, they always come in and get the W.
Hey, yeah,
they know that stadium or some shit.
I'm gonna give Matt about 5 minutes. So we got Matt for 5 minutes, and then we can get into our topics, whatever. While we're doing that, let's go through this year's official Cutler Brothers Awards banquet ballot. Can you see that, Mahomes?
I can see it. Yeah.
So, what do you think for best actor and leader role? Jack Nolan as Robin Hood. Does that work for you? Or Marquise as Shelley?
I mean, he killed it as Shelley, so that's where I'm at there. I think he destroyed it as Shelley, to be honest.
Yeah, this will be the official vote card for Mahomes here. Let's highlight Shelley there. So we're going with Shelley for your first pick there. And what do you about best actress?
He is like everyone else that votes. He is like everyone else that votes in this fucking thing. He's only seen one show.
Pretty much. What do you think? Best actress there.
Best actress. That's
best
tough.
Actress. Is there not a Glenn Gary option there?
Yeah, I know. I was looking. I was like, oh yeah, there was not one there. I mean, not knowing what everyone did, I'll just go with the very first girl in Footloose. That seems like it was probably the most technically challenging role.
Yeah, she had that's the most singing and dancing stuff. So that's a very good role. Then we got best actor in a supporting role. Notice Marquise DeJean Archuleta is in 27 different categories here.
I did notice that. And this one's tough for me, but I'm gonna have to go with Roma. That one we'll vote Roma.
Ricky Roma. Kelly's gonna win as Ricky Roma there. Hopefully this is how the real ballot goes.
Now, does that have anything to do with you being in that show and seeing it live?
Oh no. I just I really enjoyed your character actually. So and there was a depth to the performance too. You came in swaggy and had that swagger, but then when things were going good for your buddy at the end there, you were trying to celebrate him, and then boy, things didn't go well for him at the end. No spoilers for anyone who's not seen that show that's really, really old.
Hey, now watch out, Mahoney. This is just a long way for Pat to get into election fraud again.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure this is how they decided the 2020 election. They're on Zoom.
Random.
They put 4 Democrats on.
Guy in a room. Who do you pick? Point to who you pick.
Oh, I don't really know that.
One of them on TV.
He's like, I can't read. Is Epstein one of them? He gave me a pretty good time recently.
Jeez.
Some of those categories are just ridiculous.
No, you didn't. I was ready to fill my whole ballot.
We'll send you one.
Obviously, got to vote Trinity in too.
Let's go on. Best actress in a supporting role.
I just feel like I know Pride and Prejudice and I know A Christmas Carol. I just feel like Footloose is probably more demanding of a show. So I'm going to go with Amanda Rose because I'm not sure how to say that other girl's name.
Oh, that's a good choice. They both did a really good job in there. You can't go wrong on any of those. If you guys are watching, Matt says this is fucking retarded. All smiles must not be talking about COVID. Oh, he must. I think he can see us, but he can't hear us or talk.
Man, he just loves dropping the R word. He is gonna. Yeah. We're gonna lose a ton of sponsors with his foul mouth. I'm sick of it.
Hey, no, but Rookie of the Year. Just a note to our audience: one of these nominees is currently in jail, so we're not sure if he's totally eligible. But let's go on.
I mean, obviously Trinity.
Okay.
Obviously Trinity.
My own daughter's going to win that one, folks. Trinity and Christmas Carol. Best actor in a side role.
I'll go with. That's a good one. Oh, Dave Moss. I love Dave Moss. He might have been my favorite character in the whole thing.
He just went
Dave
on
Moss for sure.
Just went on, just fucking freaked out the entire show.
Yeah, so, I love Dave Moss.
He's talking about Dave Moss in the show Glengarry Glen Ross, which we did in June and one performance in July. So Mahoney, you told me in confidence that you would, if you could play any role in that, you would pick the Dave Moss character. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. It just seems like a fun character to play. Honestly, you could go out there. There's a lot of funny dialogue, a lot of funny back and forth, and it seems like kind of one of those characters that would just be fun to play. You could kind of,
if you watch the movie version, like Ed Harris, the movie version, he's like dead fucking serious as Dave Moss. It's like not even, it's like dead serious. But the way you started watching on the play, it's not the way we did it. Oh, it was fucking funny. It was fucking good.
Well, he fucks up the whole show. The show is literally based off Dave Moss. And then in the second half, he's only on stage for 5 minutes, and the rest of these people are trying to unravel everything that he fucked up. So it's hilarious.
Yeah, not a ton of lines. I mean, Marquise's character is the one I would want the least. Just like basically every other line in the show is from his character.
Yeah, it's insane. What Marquise did was fucking insanity. It was so insane. That is Shelley Levine and Glengarry Glen Ross. The play version for Shelley just seems like way more harder than the movie version, just from watching it. Best actress in a side role. Again, no Glengarry here. Who do you like for this one?
Let's go Emily Pentland. Is that a good choice? Did I make a good choice there?
That's a good choice.
She does a good job.
Yeah, I don't think there's any really wrong choices in any of these. They're all kind of good. Infamous Klutz Award. You can read all of these. So I'm going to go down to the very bottom one, Pat and Stewie with the projector malfunction. So Creepshow, the whole basis of Creepshow is we go in this fucking haunted place. The actors all just switch out. And me and Stu come on, and we're playing these two characters. We watch a horror video or whatever, and we're supposed to, after we watch the video, the strange guy shows up and says, "You're stuck here now." And they're like, "Why?" "Because you watched the video." So it's all fucking creepy. Well, part of the process is that me and Stewie, like my character is actually supposed to get the projector going, and we watch the video before the guy shows up. So me and Stewie cannot get the fucking projector to work to show the video. So then Kelly's playing the crazy character that comes in. And before we can even get the projector going, because we're struggling bad with it. I'm talking like 5 minutes on stage trying not to get it. Kelly finally just knocks and walks in. I'm like, "Who are you?" And then he's like, "Oh, let me see that." He gets the projector. He plays the video. And we watch. So Kelly's character literally plays the video. And afterwards, we're like, "We're going to go." He's like, "You can't." I'm like, "Why?" "Because you watched the video." And I was like, "Then why did you make us watch the fucking video?" It was so funny.
Yeah.
It was so fucking funny. It was
like that guy off the Jason movie. Because again, I'm not supposed to come in until after the video. So I come in just because I know they're struggling. And let me see the remote. It was just so stupid. Like, what are you guys doing here? And then Pat goes, "Why'd you make us watch the video?" And all I could think of, because we're comedians, I just looked at it, I was like, I've just been really lonely lately. A couple other ones that Mahoney might not know about that I saw. Oh, Stewie in Groundhog's Day and Comedy Night 46. Yeah, me and Pat actually were in the lighting booth because Kaya and Matt were both in that sketch. And Stewie had a beer or two before the show, which he doesn't usually do. And he just jumped on stage during that skit. And not only that, it's supposed to be Groundhog's Day. So it's supposed to be the exact same thing every time. He did not do the exact same thing every fucking time. He did whatever the fuck he wanted. So.
Oh, no, the funniest part, though, is so during the skit, they had the Scooby-Doo bus comes across once. And they're in the middle of a scene, and just in the middle of a scene, and Stu comes flying across the Scooby-Doo bus out of nowhere. Just out of nowhere.
I also like Tanner's, the top one there. That was during the Christmas Carol. So I was the ghost of Christmas Present. So my entire role was done in the first act. So I'd go out and sit and watch the second act out in the audience. So I'm sitting in the front row, just enjoying myself. And this is the most serious part where like Scrooge is like, "Is this me? Ghost of future, is this me? Is this me that's dead?" And
I'm Scrooge on stage. I'm Scrooge on stage, and Matt's on stage too, trying to act this whole part out. And just the night before, Matt freaked out because someone laughed during the scene, where it was like, "No, it's supposed to be serious and stuff." So here we are, like trying to act it out, and you just hear this fucking phone going off in the audience over and over again.
Yeah, and I was getting pissed because I thought my mom usually sat by Tanner up in the audience, in the back row because he was Tiny Tim, until he had to go on stage and everything. So I was like, "Shut the fucking phone off." This is just what I'm thinking in my head. So I look back and my mom's actually in the lighting booth because Matt and Kai are on stage again. So it's just Tanner and my dad. I'm like, "Oh, fuck." Because my dad doesn't know shit about cell phones. So my dad's like trying to like click everything. Finally, he just puts it under his armpit, and it's still like loud as fuck. So I ran up there and I was like, "Give me the fucking phone." Man, I was pretty damn pissed about that one.
That one gets my award just because the visual of Butch trying to hit all these buttons and nothing fucking working. And then the armpit thing, and it like barely muffles it. That wins for me. Yeah. I like that visual.
Butch should be Tanner / Butch on that one, because Butch was part of the problem there.
Oh yeah.
So is Matthew is he in yet?
No,
I think we have stalled the audience as much as possible. So we can jump into a topic and maybe he can text us his opinions.
All right, why don't you jump into yours? Why don't you jump into yours first? Mahomes, your topic for the night.
Mine, and I'm not as well versed in it as probably I would guess Kelly, but I am just fascinated by crypto. Cryptocurrency fascinates the shit out of me. Every time I feel like I'm ready to dip my toe in the water, I'm always like, it feels like a bit of a gamble, I guess. And I'm pretty conservative in terms of like, don't aggressively do my money. And then there's been times where I've been like, you know what, screw it. And I'll go in and I'll put all my bank info in, and then it won't let me do it. I don't know if it's just like, I'm not sure what the deal is. So it seems super interesting. Kelly, are you invested in any sort of cryptocurrency?
Not really. Yeah, I don't know. That's actually a really good fucking topic that we could probably talk about for a long time. I know I don't. Pat's got some shit on it, the same as me, just from online gambling affairs, and maybe outside of that. But I don't know. Cryptocurrency, you hear all the shit. It's not backed by anything, which is not. It's just basically, they talk about the stock market being an online casino. Well, cryptocurrency is a million times bigger than that because it's not backed by anything. You don't fucking own anything. In a stock, you buy Ed's Cattle Company. Well, you own a tiny piece of Ed's Cattle Company. You own a tiny piece of the fences and the hay bales and the cattle and the barn and everything. But with cryptocurrency, it's just it could go to zero or it could go to a million. So I don't know. I mean, you had a good opportunity a year ago during COVID, I think it bounced from 20 whatever thousand to 59,000, something crazy. And then I had friends and family that said, hey, yeah, I'm getting into Bitcoin at least, but they all kind of follow Bitcoin because that's the king right now. And when it fell, I had a lot of people that invested in it. So I hope they didn't lose too much, but it fell all the way to, last I checked, 28,000.
20,000?
Then it bounced back up to, what was it last week? 39?
Yeah,
I think it bounced back up to 39,000 or close to 40,000. And I mean, that's a big fucking jump. So anyways, my last piece on this, and we'll talk more about it later if we continue on crypto, but is this online sports betting, which I've done pretty well on like baseball, especially. The best way to get your money out of that is to transfer it into crypto and then transfer it into your bank account. And that's a 3-day process. And most people are deterred by that, in this day and age of, I want my fucking money and I want it now and I want this to make sense, especially money. People get a pretty puckered fucking butthole when it comes to money. Where is that $1,000 floating up there? And I've transferred money out of my sports account, say like $300, and it's been in Bitcoin for a while. Not that I want to invest in Bitcoin. I just got to go through that. And the next day I wake up and I've made $50 off Bitcoin. But I've also had to go the other way. I was on vacation, actually. I transferred $1,200, something like that. And I couldn't get it out of Coinbase, which is a Bitcoin, avenue. I couldn't get it out of there. And I ended up losing $300, $350 because the motherfuckers froze it in the account because Bitcoin was falling off a cliff. So that's my opening take on that.
So I'll go with my opening take. Because I have done some fucked up shit with crypto. So the first thing to understand is like it's similar to oil, and it's weird to talk about oil and cryptocurrency because the U.S. dollar is really fucking backed by oil. That's why we were always in these wars in the Middle East and everything to stabilize the dollar. So the U.S. dollar is backed by fucking oil. Crypto isn't backed by anything, like Kelly said, but there's a lot. It's based on a lot of speculation. So oil prices is based on a lot of fucking speculation. It's basically a lot of people coming together and say, well, what would you value this at? What would you value a crypto, a Bitcoin at? What would you value that at? And the thing that makes it so fucking volatile, and it's way more volatile than oil prices, by the way, is that it can jump, like Kelly said, it could jump 39,000 to 28,000 to whatever. It's so fucking volatile. And one of the major concerns I have, there's a handful of people, and I don't say there's a handful of people that own all of it, but there's people like Elon Musk owns I don't know what the fuck it is. I think he owns like a couple billion in like cryptocurrency or something like that. So if Elon Musk said something, if Elon Musk simply went on TV and said, "Why might I pull my crypto?" or something like that, the fucking Bitcoin drops like a fucking like one person can influence it so fucking hardcore with just one fucking statement. It's kind of insanity how volatile it is when it gets to being influenced. Speaking though of what Kelly was saying when it dropped in gambling and things of that nature. So I got big into crypto gambling back in the day, and I went. So Kelly's talking about sports books like Bovada and stuff, where you transfer crypto into US dollars, and that's the only way you can fucking deposit it into like an online sports betting place, because it was illegal until basically this last year. He did that with Bovada. I did it for Bovada for a while, and then I found a purely cryptocurrency betting website called Nitrogen Sports, where you literally bet Bitcoin. It's a lot harder to figure out, however, and especially as Bitcoin goes up and down though. But I got way fucking deep into the shit. I mean, I'm talking like way the fuck deep into this. And this is a big fucking rabbit hole. I'm not gonna tell the whole story or whatever, but let's just say I had a parlay going, and I think the Ravens were one, and I chose the Minnesota Vikings, and this is a huge cryptocurrency bet I made, and the fucking Vikings played the Bills, and this is Kelly, if you know odds like Kelly does, this is like a Vikings were favored like 18 points or something like that. It was like negative 800, negative 1,000 odds or something, so it didn't add that much onto the bet, but I was trying to add a little something that I knew was a guaranteed win. And this is when Josh Allen out of fucking nowhere went into Minnesota and just beat the fuck out of the Vikings. The Vikings cost me quite a bit. And then you don't know how much the Vikings cost me. If the Vikings would not have won that game and just say I would have held my Bitcoin at that point, I'm talking like right now, let's say at its peak when it was like 62 or 63,000, I would have that my Bitcoin at that with it at 62 or 63,000 have that value, I would have had $150,000 to $200,000.
Jesus.
That's
wow,
how
so
fucking
you must love Josh Allen then, huh? You must be a big Josh Allen fan.
Yeah. But yeah,
I don't think you need to be afraid to go down that rabbit hole. I mean, Jace Feldy talked about his fucking aborted kid last week, so I think you're fine.
Yeah, I would say the caveat, though, there's a big caveat to it. That the caveat is that I would have won and I would have held on to it for 3 years, 2.5 years. I don't know what the hell it was. So that's a big caveat. Yeah. Like, would I have actually held on to it that long? But if I would have held on, if the Vikings didn't blow that game and I would have held on to it, yeah, I'd have a shitload of money right now. But without that said, now I'm divorced all because of cryptocurrency. Instead, I have
it's weird because you see, like, when things are going really good for it, you see some big wig, some financial guy be like, "Oh, crypto will be at 100K in 6 months," Yes. And so I remember, like, when it first came around, and it was probably at like 800 or 1,000 or something, when I first had kind of started looking into it and being like, I wonder, is this like a legitimate thing, or is this just going to be this kind of roller coaster that people like the Dogecoin that happened earlier this year, where people just pumped it up and then pump and dump style.
Yeah.
Kind of like that's what a lot of people were accusing Musk of doing when he stopped taking Bitcoin for his Tesla cars, and then he started taking it again, and then it's soared again. So it's just really interesting. I want to know if it's like, is this worthwhile, or is it like I'm rolling the dice at a fucking craps table and hoping for the best?
Here's 2 more cents on it. Well, it's better than rolling the dice at the craps table, and it's better than a casino, I'll tell you that, but not much better. Jim Tilley made $2,500 or some shit. I'm sure he wouldn't care if I shared that fucking bit of information on here, on Dogecoin. And he sat there and he's like, I'm watching. He bought it at 25 cents, went up to 40, 45 cents, 50, I think. And he sold it pretty good. And he made $2,500. The reason that I don't like fucking cryptocurrency is because it's so new and it's not backed by anything. I'm not saying the stocks can't go completely out of business. The first time I got involved with the stock market was in 2009, and I invested in Citi because it was on its way out the doors, and I didn't understand what was going on. It was $5 a share, and I was like, Circuit fucking City.
Oh, yeah.
My $1,000 into it. I was in Chicago at the time, and I lost everything in like a month. I was like, oh my God, I'm fucking terrible at this. But now you grow up and you realize you're just a fucking idiot when you're 20 years old, But my biggest thing is Warren Buffett is my financial guru, my icon. He says, you don't invest. Why invest in something that hasn't proven itself? You have the Fords and you have the Pepsis out there and the Coca-Colas. Why not invest in something that has proven itself? And that's where I want to put my money, because then I can sleep at night. I don't got to guess, like, what the fuck's Bitcoin going to do? Is it going to go up to $1 million, which it very damn well may, but it very damn well may disappear next year and it'll never come back. But is Coca-Cola going to disappear next year? Is McDonald's going to disappear next year? No, not even by a fucking Walmart, not even by a, a twinkle in your fucking dick while you're having a wet dream.
I mean, and that's where all of my investments, the 401k, your retirement, all that good stuff, is all in the blue chips, the Apples, the Fords, the Coca-Colas, just because it's my money. I don't want it. But there's also part of me that I think everyone has that in them, where you're like, man, if I just took a little bit out of those safe stocks and just, I don't know, maybe put something on one of these things that just took off. Everyone wants that.
Yes. Now don't get me. Yes, 100%. But you can also get poor real quick too, And I've learned that the hard way so many fucking times in my life. I mean, it's made me super comfortable with like risk analysis and shit, just because I've done shit like that. And you fucking, it's like slapping your fucking penis with a popsicle stick. Eventually it gets old.
That's
what I was going to say, though,
fucking weird analogy. I don't think anyone in the history of investment. I don't think anyone in the history of investing has ever used that. Like, I hope that's in Warren Buffett's next book.
Okay, but anyways, blue chips. Yes, I don't want to sound like Mr. Boring Investor here, because I'm really not. But you got to know risk analysis. You got to know what you are going into and what's behind it. And Bitcoin and Dogecoin and all this, there's fucking nothing behind it, and that's what scares me. Yeah, take a risk, but and people have made millions of dollars off Bitcoin, and people have made millions of dollars off of marijuana stocks and shit like that. I'm just saying, in our world, I'd rather be able to sleep at night and enjoy my family and the fucking birds and go on vacation and not constantly worry about this shit, even though you do, no matter how much or in what you have invested. But I'd rather do safe stuff. And if you're not doing safe, I would rather be there. That's why I'm a day trader. I'd rather be there on the fucking scene 24/7, watching it until my money is safe. I would never invest in Dogecoin or Bitcoin and fucking not check it for 3 days. That's it.
I don't want to go off topic here, Kel, but shit, I didn't. Your post yesterday about the comedy night 47. I wish I would have. I don't know. I wish I would have had the tickets set up, because that post had 29 shares and it reached almost 2,000 people so far.
Holy fuck! Wow.
People
I think it says go to cutlerbros.com though for tickets.
Yeah, except there are no tickets at cutlerbros.com right now.
Well, I know, but I just put that in there because usually it's looks like Cuts is coming on here too. There he is. Hey, the man of the hour.
Anyways, yeah, without Kirk Cousins, do I have a grudge against Kirk Cousins? Yes, because I went from having $150,000 in my bank account to being left in an Alaskan village by myself without my wife or kids. No.
That's what having your faith in Kirk Cousins will do for you. I mean, it cost the Vikings coach's job. He knows what it's like.
So with that said, Matt, welcome to the show. I hope you caught the last end of that, because that was really what we were talking about the entire time.
No, I watched. I didn't have any audio, but I watched the video. I saw a lot of smiles, a lot of fun happening. Don't know what the fuck you guys were talking about, but it looked like a lot of fun happening. I was gonna say, this is one of the most goddamn annoying days in fucking how long I can remember. Oh my fucking God, every fucking person wants something from you. Every goddamn fucking Nazi motherfucker wants something from me today. It's like, God damn it, leave me alone for 2 goddamn seconds so I can sit here and enjoy a fucking beer. Now I'm on fucking Kaya's goddamn phone. Jesus Christ. Fucking done with this.
Clip that piece out of there.
Yeah. That can't be in. For sure.
Yeah, so glad to see.
So anyway, we'll just act like Matt was never here.
I liked Matt's take on Bitcoin, but I think he cut out halfway through.
Yeah.
And 13,000 tickets. And it cuts off.
That's my topic. So feel free to move on to the next. I don't want to bogart the whole time. It's something that I find interesting, and I figured you guys would probably know a little bit more about it, just because I haven't done like a lot of research. I've read articles, and you get everything from the guy saying like, "Oh, this is a smart investment. It's going to really, it's got nowhere to go but up." And then you read the other article where people are like, "This is like investing in firecrackers and then lighting them on fire."
So we're gonna move on to Kelly's topic. I think hopefully Matt gets back on, and then we'll go Kelly's topic, then Matt's topic, and then I'll probably go.
You got something to say really quick? Because I really got to take a piss before we get into this next one.
Yeah, go take a piss. Okay. I would just say that I have a good topic that's like a good more of a roundup type topic that we haven't discussed. It's kind of interesting. It has to do kind of with the world and everything that's going on and everything. So I think that's a good end of the show topic to have. Basically, Mike Freeze is going to show up and talk for an hour about the pyramids. That's my topic.
No, I would really like. I mean, you guys are in a different time zone, so I'm sure you would like to get to bed at some point as well.
Yeah. So we had a meeting after the last podcast episode Sunday. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun, but I was just like, man, on this diet, I just get fucking tired as shit at night because my body went from drinking alcohol every day to like doing slow carb. And now I'm cheating.
I bet that's a shock to the system.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing to me? But it's not too bad. I mean, Tim Ferriss, the good thing is like I could still drink like 1 or 2 glasses of wine a day if I want to. If you're not really eating anything, you get a buzz a lot faster from drinking wine.
Yeah.
But tonight,
can you drink like is it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it only wine, or can you have hard alcohol too? Because it's not carbs.
It's this one's slow carb, so it's different than the regular.
Sure.
Vodka. So he just experimented. He's a big wine guy, so he just basically came out and said, okay, well, wine does not affect it at all. If you can have up to 2 glasses per day. So technically, I've been slow drinking it pretty good. I had my first glass at 5:30, then a glass during our commandant rehearsal, and then basically tomorrow is an hour and a half from now. So I don't think if I have one last final third glass of wine, it's going to really impact very much.
No, and I mean, it doesn't sound like maybe his thing was too scientific. It was just like, I really like drinking wine, so I'll say 2 glasses of wine. It's just fine. I think that's what that was.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because he goes through all these different test results and all these different things, but he never ran any results for the wine. He kind of just said, "Yeah, I had 1 to 2 glasses. It seems like it doesn't have an impact."
Yeah, look at me. I'm kick ass. Everything's fine.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool diet and everything. So Kelly, you're up for your topic now, here, sir.
Okay, well, it's actually trending topic. I was trying to think all day, like, whatever comes to me, usually that's what I roll with. So a few things came to me, but this one was later at night. It's kind of probably why Matt's all stressed out tonight is work ethic, not him, but I mean, the people that, work at our current restaurant that we are definitely selling in 25 days. Not that I'm counting down the hours, but the work ethic. Everyone's talking about the United States. Yep, done in 20. Did you not know that, Mahomes?
No, yeah, I mean, last we talked, just non-podcast. You guys were talking about you wanted to do it, and you said there was an offer, but you said it had a long way to go when we talked. So I wasn't sure if it was like kind of one of those things that's going to get lost in legal, or that's going to really happen.
Yeah, it unfolded 10 times faster than I thought it would, and it's fucking pretty much said and done. We just got the money today for the business, and then we sold the building separately. It's a long story, but anyways, we're out of prison pizza. It's funny how rumors go around because the town has been talking. You see these stupid threads and shit, Deer Lodge Community News, and they're just like, "Oh, prison pizza, that's selling." People on there. "Oh yeah, I think so. The crust is so much better." It's like nothing's changed, you dumb whore.
God.
But I mainly want to talk about like maybe not even work ethic, just like these small businesses in America, and it's like is this really a problem? Like the work ethic and is the unemployment benefits, is this really influencing this shit, or are people just bitching about it? How much truth is here? I think we're lazier nowadays, than our parents were or whatnot. But
100%.
100%, yeah.
we haven't had a ton of trouble hiring people at Prison Pizza. We've just had trouble retaining them and them showing up to work, and I mean little things like that. But we haven't had a problem hiring people. Like anytime we say, hey, we need someone to work here, we always have 3 or 4 people or more apply. So anyways, kick off that thing.
Yeah, I think your point is really good. I think we've talked on this before about the generational gap of like, people really going out there like the trophy generation, everyone's special. So when you get into the real world and not everyone's special, they don't like it. And then they quit their jobs and then they go find themselves in the Maldives or some shit, like that's not really how life works. You have to actually work hard if you want to get anywhere. And I think like no matter what you're doing, even if it's something you really love, you're gonna have to put the work into it to actually be good at it or to actually ever make a good living. Right. So that's one of the things, and I think I've said it before, that's one of the things I'm super grateful for growing up where we grew up in small town Montana, because that work ethic is just kind of instilled in you. You see everyone around you is working hard just to get by, because it's not like there's a bunch of job opportunities, and even the ones that are there, it's not like they're paying good money, so you see everyone just kind of really busting their ass to get by. So I'm super thankful. I think the people that maybe grew up in bigger areas and maybe their parents were investors or worked for some big tech company didn't think, because for them it looked like it just came easy, or maybe they had a family member that came in on one of these .com things and just got rich almost overnight, and they're kind of waiting for their turn. And I think possibly to tie it back to Bitcoin, that's probably why Bitcoin's so big with the younger generation, because they think like, all right, this will be my, this is our .com craze. This is how we're all going to get rich in a couple months and be like Mark Cuban and own the Mavericks. So I think everyone's looking for like the next big thing and not necessarily like wanting to invent the next big thing, if that makes sense. They don't want to do the work to be the next big thing themselves. They're just looking for somebody to be like, they want to get in on the ground floor and just kind of ride the wave. And who wouldn't? I mean, not like saying I don't want to be a total hypocrite. Like if that came to me and I saw something that was like, hey, this is going to make a ton of money and you don't have to do that much work, I guess isn't that the dream? Yeah. But still, I like the work.
I think that,
man, if I ever won the lotto, I'd still probably work. I like working. I'd be too bored.
I think the biggest thing too is like you have to have something to risk to actually make that fucking thing happen, where you landed on Bitcoin or landed on .com, blah, 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 whatever. You have to have the money to risk, the time to risk. You have to risk something to succeed in that. And, a lot of young people, I don't know what age we're talking about. If we're talking about teenagers or 20-year-olds, they just don't have that money to risk. The other thing is America is so fucking wealthy that maybe just everyone just doesn't really have to go out and work anymore because their daddy did it, and their mommy did it. And, none of us really had that. We grew up, I don't want to say poor because, that's bad connotation, because I never felt poor. I've said that before. I felt rich as fuck. I loved my childhood, but we grew up and then it wasn't like, hey, Mark, here's $1 million or $100,000. Go do what you want. No, you had to fucking work for where you're at. But now we're all in pretty good places too. And our kids are I told Pat this just tonight out in my parents' backyard. I was like, our kids are going to have better lives than we ever had. And the other part of me thinks like, I can't believe the shit that we say sometimes. We're talking, I'm like, man, when the fuck did I grow up? We're like, none of these kids have work ethic. I'm like, this sounds like older people, but we're saying it now. I'm like, has it really and they say school's gotten so bad, everything's gotten so bad. Is that true? Or did we just become adults overnight and didn't realize it?
I mean, we're old. I mean, I think that has a lot to do with it. Like, we're old and we actually have life experience now. So our whole worldview has changed on like what we think makes sense. But I think I don't know, and you guys can say probably a similar thing, is we were, I think, generally raised the same way of like, when you come out, whenever it's your turn to be done with school and you start in the workforce, you have to kind of go through it a little bit, right? You have to earn your way if you want to get a promotion. There's no like instant gratification. And I think, yeah, like no one really wants to pay their time, and it's not fun. It's not fun to pay your dues and work really low. And like, shit, I did, like, in terms of what I had for dinner for the first like 3 years out of college, I was poor, man. I wasn't like, I probably had more money working at a bud distributor in college than I did when I first started working. But I also knew like what my end goal was, and that it was worth the shit, because someday I wouldn't be living like this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And I think if you could see a generational timeline too, money is made and money is squandered. And these kids that grow up and they just have it handed to them, well, either I feel like they're going to get bored with that and want to go make their own life, or they just spend their entire life squandering all this fucking money, and then it's gone in a generation or two. If you're talking about millions or billions of dollars, it's gone. And then one day you wake up and you're born and you don't have it handed to you. And then you're just, I mean, I'm so happy for how we were born, and we came out of the womb and we had the life, you know, all that we had with a VHS camera. And we, you know, we weren't born into Hollywood. We weren't born into fucking theater and everything. We've created every single thing we have off the top of our heads with basically no fucking money at all. And we made that, you know, we're making that our living. And one day we might be billionaires and our fucking shitty ass kids are going to be the ones that squander our wealth. But I just think that that's a generational gap and a timeline thing. Because I don't think work ethic just disappears completely because America and the rest of the world is becoming richer and richer and richer. I think I just told my parents tonight too, like I love, and Marissa, I love fucking what I do. You can call it work, you cannot call it work, but if I'm making money, I'm going to call it work. And I love the shit out of what I do. I wouldn't give it up for anything in the world right now.
I can't remember who said this quote, but I think this points to the fact that it's not always like this. And maybe like it's always been the older generations thinks the younger generation doesn't work hard. It was either Rockefeller or Henry Ford, and I can't remember exactly who it was, but the quote was, the father earns it, the son enjoys it, the grandson destroys it. And I can't remember, it was some like uber wealthy person, but it's just, that's funny because that's, you know, early 1900s. And they're thinking, they're probably, you know, they said it in fancier ways than we're saying it now, but they're saying the same shit.
Exactly, man. Exactly to my point. So, Pat, you got anything on that one?
Yeah, well, I think people, especially men, are kind of the more we go here, men are probably becoming more and more bigger fucking pussies these days, you know. And that's just the reality of it. I mean, I was scared to death as a kid to show up late to a job or call off or something growing up.
Oh yeah.
That was something I just never fucking did. And it took me a while to realize like how all these jobs I had, and they basically, I was never even considered to be someone they would even consider firing at all. And all these years I wondered why. Then I started, you know, working at Prison Pete's and stuff, and we had people coming in and out and stuff, and different hiring things and whatnot. And quickly realized that, man, if you just show up and you're not a complete piece of shit, man, the world now is at the tips of your fingers. Where back in the day, you know, way back until like, say, like the Great Depression, say our grandfathers or whatever, some of the shit they had to go through, they had to just work like fucking crazy and hope things just came together to make it work out. Or nowadays, it's like,
what's your quote? Say your quote. The weak men, strong men, blah blah blah. What'd you say earlier? I love that quote.
Strong men make great times make weak men make hard times.
Hard times make strong men.
Yeah, hard times make strong men. Hard times make strong men.
I love the fucking shit out of that because it's so true. And yeah, we've never had it fucking easier, and that's probably the problem right now. We are in like that easy stage. I mean, we're all workers, but But who knows? I mean, there's so many apparent non-workers that it's just like, this is getting fucking scary here, because it's not going to be that easy in 50 years or 100 years or whatever. Not to sound like my grandfather, but I mean, our dad even worked so much fucking harder than I'll just say for myself than I did. My grandfather worked so much harder than my dad. I'm talking like physical, like beat the fuck out of your body, lifting rocks type of labor shit, you know. I'm just so fortunate where I am. But yeah, I'm just like, you know, my kids, unless something drastically changes, my kids will never know. They won't have to know that fucking hardship of digging ditches and shit, which maybe they should. Maybe for a year of your life or 2 years of your life, maybe you should have to do that. And you should have to work in food service so you know not to be a fucking cunt when someone fucks up your pizza on a Friday night this August.
Friday night this August. You just named the date.
He says
but
the address of the person on 804 College Avenue.
Yeah, we're in that times where it's so fucking easy. How long is this? How long is this joyride gonna last? You know, because we have a good life. I recognize it. I think all of us recognize it, and I love it. But how long is it gonna last if people aren't even willing to get off their fucking ass to make a living? And you can do so well. You don't even got to try. There's no good jobs. Fuck you. You go down and you put some fries in the boiler or whatever at McDonald's. You'll be the fucking manager in 2 weeks. If you just show up like the things Pat said, you'll be the goddamn manager in 2 weeks. And in a year, if you really wanted, you'd be the regional manager. And eventually you'll be in McDonald's corporate office, you know, or whatever route. Name a business. That's how it works. It's just people don't want to do shit and want to drink the good beers and eat the good food and not do shit. Well, that's not how it really fucking works.
No, it's not how it fucking works. It's bullshit, right?
Right. It appears as if Matt will not be joining us, but something tells me he feels a similar way we do about this. I mean, maybe he'd have more impassioned things about the current stage of the workforce, but I do think it's a lot of like, as we're talking about just getting older, it's a lot of like, you look now and if you ever go and watch like a high school sports game, you're just like, oh man, if I was playing right now, I'd be kicking these kids' ass. And really, you're probably you're probably exactly the same as what it looks like. You just play it up in your head.
I don't think physically people are much different. I think though mentally is where it's at. Just mentally, the ability to just not be a complete fucking vagina for men these days is pretty fucking hard for a lot of people.
Well, and the one thing that's going to be interesting is just like robots are going to take a lot of jobs in probably the not too distant future. So people are going to have to start doing stuff that maybe they didn't want to do, you know?
Well, that's the whole.
Well, you're going to, call it, people like to talk about socialism a lot and democratic socialism and all that shit. Sadly, a lot of people would probably be fucking okay with just sitting in their house and receiving just this minuscule check so they can buy their goddamn toilet paper and their fucking sticky buns and whatever else. And that would be their whole life. They just live in a bubble and they get fed and they watch TV and they shit in their toilet and that's it. That's their whole fucking life. But if you want to rise above that, like all of us do, I love the system that's set up, and call it capitalism or whatever it is. And we weren't born with a silver spoon up our assholes. We were born with pretty much nothing. We all made our own way. Capitalism is set up for you to carve your own way. So I don't see why people don't want to do that. I love having the power of my destiny, of my future in my own goddamn hands. I love that feeling. Because if I fuck up, it's my fault. Maybe it's just a lack of responsibility. Who knows? But I just don't get the, oh, please, just feed me. Just, give me a toilet to shit in and fucking, a house to live in and keep me safe and I'm good to go. That is, what a fucking pathetic existence. I want risk. I want like craziness. Like, let's go out and say something on stage. Maybe someone's going to try to chop your head off afterwards for, That's what I want.
I live in a town of 2,000 people, and I'm afraid of with this job outside of town called Rock Creek. They might think of me if I say or do something. Oh my God, I'm so fucking scared. Boycott. It's that low fucking mind.
And I
I
gotta
can't
tell
be
you-
around it. Can't do it. Can't do it, Shell.
Can't do it. Can't win with them. Which coach was that? That was Singletary freaking out about Vernon Davis.
I fucking love
but
that.
I got to tell you, Kelly, the one, like, it's hard work is great and all, but there is definitely times when I'm working hard where I'll fantasize now about, since you said it, of like just eating sticky buns and shitting on a toilet, not doing anything. There's times when you're working hard where you'd really just rather be doing that.
That's true,
So-
but is that all you would want to do forever, though? I don't think so.
No. No.
I think when you actually get to eat your sticky buns, hey, the monkey with the coconut. We just keep coming back to that. I think when you're eating your sticky buns, pizza, and fucking drinking your Rainier and watching an NFL game on a Sunday or a Saturday or whatever, it's so much fucking more worth it because you actually worked your ass off all week, and it's like, this is your reward. You live in a nice place, you got a nice TV with surround sound, and you can afford your food and your beer. And I mean, I just think that's a fucking reward to have like that day, like, man, I earned this shit. I earned this trip to Disneyland. I earned this fucking, honeymoon. Like I went on to go to all these ballparks and shit. I earned all this shit. It wasn't handed to me because they're not going to hand you that shit. They're going to hand you sticky buns and a fucking place to live. And that's it, period. And that's all you're going to do the rest of your life.
Very true. No, there's that. And I think that's a mental thing too. You always have to have that thing at the end of the rainbow, right? Like you always have to have that thing, like I earned, even in a small scale. And this is probably terrible if there's any nutritionist listening. I'm sorry about the sticky buns and pizza talk, but a lot of the times what I'll do, and I've done it since high school, is like, I won't let myself get a drink of water or Gatorade or whatever until my workout's done. Mm-hmm. And I know that's terrible for my body, but it's also like kind of that reward process that I go through of like, I didn't earn this yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I know, I don't even think I know that's why there's so much depression and suicide and anger and everything out there, because people don't like Jordan Peterson. I'll preach about Jordan Peterson all day long. People don't want shit handed to them, even if they act like they do. Even if we all joke about, oh man, I wish I could just win the lottery and go spend my life in Hawaii. No, you fucking don't. Talk to any retired person out there. After 6 months or 8 months, they're like, this sucks. They want to get back to work. They want to be significant and beneficial to society. And when you hand someone everything, every single thing that they need in their life, they're fucked, and they're moody, and they're suicidal. They're depressed. It's a very sad system. So as much as you want to win the lottery and do all this stuff, you need to work for it. I'm telling you all, you need to work for it, because the happiest people in the world, even if you're a fucking billionaire, if you worked for it and you're a billionaire, or if you worked for it and you got your degree and you're a teacher. My dad said he was so fucking happy that he didn't have to work in the mines his entire life. He got his degree. He went and got out of the blue collar work, and he got to go be a teacher. And he says he never felt better in his life. He didn't feel like he belonged there because he was so fucking happy. He never worked a day in his life. Well, guess what? He went out and earned that shit, and that's why it paid off. So that's the moral of the story tonight, I guess, with that.
Absolutely. So Pat, we'll jump to your subject now as we round the horses. I mean, I know I'd love to hear Matt, but I don't think we're going to hear from him. He can round the horses with his topic on our next show.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna do my. No, he can round the horse clip, but I think we're ready to round the horses anyways here. We've been on for about an hour 23, hour 20 some minutes so far. And it's my bedtime, folks. I'd kind of end with this. We talk about, I think the discussion that you guys are talking about is really good. Kelly, you talk about like old people and stuff like that. And I do agree. You retire and you stop doing stuff and you pretty much just fucking die. That's the only thing I'd say about our dad Butch right now is he's going off and I'm so glad we're done with Prison Peach. I don't have to work there anymore. I don't do anything there. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That's great, and he has things lined up, but you know who the most ignorant, annoying fucking people that I ever run into working at like a restaurant or a bar or anything? It's fucking old people. It's fucking old people. You want to know why? Because most old people, again, this is like a brainwashed generation of people. And I'm not saying they didn't work hard and they all work super hard. Yeah, to some extent, I guess. But most old people are completely out of fucking touch with reality. And what I mean with that is like, because most old people grew up in this world of let's fucking work X amount of years, and then our entire fucking lives are based on fucking retirement. So they're retired for 10 years or whatever. And a lot of them, those old fucks that come into Prison Pizza, or been not doing shit for 10 years or so, staying in their fucking house, traveling, not really experiencing any real world things. And so they have such a disconnection to people who still work in service areas. They have such a fucking disconnection to what it's like to work. And this is the problem. Also, your memory starts to go too. So there's a complete disconnection. It's like there's a lady a month ago, like it's one of the last times I'm gonna see my kids, and this fucking my son's throwing fitness. It's a Broken Arrow in Deer Lodge, everybody. It's a bar in Deer Lodge, and she fucking starts talking shit to me, to my kids. It's like, you don't even fucking know my kids. And I literally went to her and flipped her off and said, "Fuck you, you stupid whore," and I walked out. But seriously, it's because, and then she lectured my mom about, I worked with kids for 30 years. Well, yeah, that was like fucking 20 years ago. You sat on your ass, you stupid ass retirement, and have done fucking shit. So you're completely disconnected from having kids or dealing with kids or working in the service industry or fucking anything. So that's why I think, when you talk about retirement, why I never want to be retirement, because I don't want to be a completely absolute ignorant fucking piece of shit who fucking goes to Prison Pizza, orders 50 things on the menu, and wonder why it's not fucking 50 cents. It's like the rudeness, though. The reason I got that old person, the old man, the old lady that's just mean or whatever, is because they're so fucking disconnected from reality, because they've been retired for so long. They haven't worked a real job for so long. They don't remember what it was like to have kids. They don't remember anything. And that's why I have a big concern for anybody that tries to retire and do nothing the rest of your life to support Kelly up, because you kind of just become an ignorant fuck, because your life is just your latest experiences in the real world. If you have zero but laying inside your house the entire time, then how the fuck do you know? So it's like you go to a place, order a $10 pizza, and expect the person to serve the entire fucking world to you on a silver platter within 5 minutes. That's my rant.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I'll say about that is I think that most older people like that, I think that to my point a while ago, fucking way harder than this generation, but I think they worked harder because they were looking forward to a retirement, and that's period. Nowadays it's more apparent, it's more evident that retirement should not be your goal, because if you're working for a retirement at 60 or 65 or 70 or whatever, you're beating the shit out of your body, you're beating the shit out of your mind, you're pissed off of the world, you're running towards the fucking finish line, which might seem good in track and field, but the finish line in life is death. But that's why I'm saying, like, they did work their asses off really hard, but they for the wrong goal, for the wrong price, for the wrong reasons. I don't believe in retirement. I believe in quitting your job or retiring or resigning from your job, especially if you're not happy there. But I don't believe in retiring from life. Like, that's not a thing. You can't just retire and sit on your ass. You'll be dead very, very soon. You have to have, we've talked about this before, dreams and goals. You have to have dreams and goals that propel you through life. Once those dreams and goals are gone, when you're finally like, you know what, like Gran Torino, I'm good sitting on my porch drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon and fucking raking my yard every day and doing the same thing, you're pretty much just giving yourself a death sentence. You're not going to live forever, ever. We'll all get there one day. But if you start doing that when you're 60 years old, well, fuck, man. You got a lot of life left if you want it, but you're basically giving yourself a death sentence.
And the reality of our situation, of our generation and younger, is like Social Security is not going to be there, man. It'll be gone by the time. So that's not a thing that we can look forward to. So retiring is just going to be harder. Like for me, there's a part of my life when I'm eventually not working. One of my dreams is to like get an RV and just go all over the United States, just drive all over the country, stay in a new spot each night. Just because maybe that's just the small town kid in me, not going that many places, that I think that would be cool. And just kind of, not having a permanent address after working for so many years. But even still, like to Kelly's point, I'm still doing something. I still have something to look forward to. It's not just get off my lawn.
Yeah. Our grandpa is the best example of our family. He did what we said. He was a truck driver, a miner, everything. He wanted to retire when he was 60, 61. And then he sat in a fucking recliner watching his TV in the same apartment that they were in for 20, 30 years, drinking vodka and smoking cigars and his pipe and cigarettes. And he was dead in 2 years. If he had even the same dream that you got, like get an RV and go and travel the country, I mean, he would have lived a lot fucking longer. When you're just like, I want to do nothing. That's what we're talking about. You can't just do nothing. Yeah. You can't. You're just going to be dead.
Yeah, I don't mean everyone's like that, but I've seen just in my childhood growing up, a lot of fucking people do that are like that. And I've seen just working in any service, whether it be prison pizza or bars, and a lot of old people, they're just ignorant fuck. They want their food immediately. They think it takes 5 minutes. They have no patience for anything. They have no respect. They're just rude as fuck. They change their mind 50 different times. It's just, I've seen a lot, and that all has to do with the fact that they're not out there actually doing anything. They're just kind of sitting there doing nothing every day with their fucking life,
Yeah, but maybe they don't give a shit, say you're 70 or 80 years old, and you just don't give a shit anymore. You're like, I'm fucking dead any day now. Why not be rude? Why not be a fucking dickhead?
That's Jerry Seinfeld has a whole like bit of stand up about that, where he's like, you go down to Florida, people are just backing out of their driveways. He's just like, I'm old as fuck. Good for you. Like, you figure it out. I'm not stopping.
Yeah, I know. Florida's like that. Florida is a big fucking retirement area there in Florida. But yeah, it's like, to me personally, if I ever return to that big of a fucking asshole, take me on the field, put a gun in my head, and pull the fucking trigger. I'd rather go the way like Trump or even Biden or whoever, where I'm gonna fucking swing till I'm dead. Like, why else live your life any other way?
Yeah, I agree. I don't believe in retirement at all. Like, do something. Go. If you got to go work as a cashier at fucking Subway or be a greeter at Walmart or day trade in the stock market like I do, or any fucking thing, just or invent something or build something or start a nonprofit, just do something until you're like legitimately like, I'm fucking tired, man. I'm 88 years old. I'm good with death. Once you are good with death, that's when you should retire.
Well, it's so true. Like, you can look at there's studies that show that people who have structure or have a schedule or have something to look forward to, that their risk of depression is a lot lower, right? Like, that's, I think, why you saw such a huge dramatic spike in depression during COVID, is because now there's no work schedule for other people that got laid off or furloughed. There's really nothing to look forward to other than going to bed, and then the next day you got the same thing, So there's plenty of studies that show like having a structured schedule or something to look forward to is dramatically better for your health, physically and mentally.
Absolutely.
And sexually, right?
I mean, that's certainly something to look forward to. Yeah.
And Matt's unable to, or he didn't join us tonight, unfortunately. But Matt says that even, he's our youngest brother, and he just says the reason he loved prison pizza so much, he said, because I have to be somewhere at 10 o'clock in the morning. I have to be there to accomplish something. and he works for himself is the other reason he loved it. But he kind of has it right. I'm self-employed, and a lot of times I'll break my own fucking rules. It's hard to do that unless you have a boss, like unless you are facing a big responsibility or something, which apparently that doesn't even matter to some people, but for us it does. Like being self-employed, I really have to keep tabs on myself and be like, dude, you can't fucking do this. You can't drink until 4 a.m. You have to get up and do this shit. And unfortunately, what I do, this thing, cell phone makes it extremely easy because I can wake up and scratch my dick and fucking do what I do for the first 2 hours of the day. But eventually I know I have to get up because you just have to, you can't fucking sit there and do that all day.
Amen. All right, Pat.
Amen. Well, let's round those fucking horses up, boys. This has been a very interesting episode tonight here. We do 2 episodes in like 3 days. We're back to doing all that shit and whatnot. So let's round the horses here, and we're gonna first go to Matt. Matt, what's your final words for tonight's episode? He couldn't quite connect, folks. We'll go to Mahomes. Your final words.
Yeah, we talked about a whole wide variety of different things. So for anyone who stuck with us the whole time, from us talking fantasy football all the way to us saying work until you are going to die, work until you fall dead as a Walmart greeter. We appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in.
Kelly.
Yeah, good 22nd episode. Here we go. See if we can break a couple more records here. But I just want to say, if you're thinking about investing in cryptocurrency, first take that popsicle stick and slap yourself in the dick 10 times with it. If you're not bleeding, then maybe crypto's the way to go.
Yeah, well, I think that rounds things out pretty well there. Yeah, get into crypto at your own fucking risk. I think I read something online where it's like, never put your fucking life savings into crypto. Invest at a very, very small percentage in margin. And if you do invest, don't ever bet with it on the fucking Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins. That's that's my final piece of advice there. This has been a fun episode. The last we did broke all-time records, still breaking records now. It's up to almost 100 views on YouTube the last episode, so that's a lot of good news there. Well, yeah, we got a lot coming down. Next week we'll return to our regular scheduled time, and we'll have a special guest of some kind. And we also got coming up down the pipeline, we're gonna have Mike Freeze on again to talk about the moon landing. Mahomes doesn't know this, but we're actually doing a special episode that we're thinking this is not concrete yet. We're just talking about this, right, George? Yeah, we're just talking about it. We're looking at an episode that we're going to do at the theater, and there's going to be some moon slides shown, like an old projector of moon slides. And I don't know where I'm going with this ending here, so let's just end it. Hey, guys, we'll see you next week, and thanks for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you guys all next time around. All right, see ya. Bye.